Hello, my dear fellow travelers, friends, and photographers. Welcome to Chrisley Travel Channel. In this second episode of my travel journey to Pakistan, I will welcome you to join me for an exciting journey from the Peshawar, the main city, historical city, all the way to Chilas at the up north of Pakistan. And you look at this map of Pakistan and you know that the Pakistan, the section, the area that we cover today are quite border to Afghanistan on the western border of the country. And the exact location of prospect location of our journey, it can be seen in this map. And from this topography map is clearly indicated this region are fairly high with an altitude of about close to 1,000 meter to 1,005 meter above sea level. And we are visiting ancient Buddhist monastery, as ancient site, and the name of this site is called Takht-I-Bahi. And you can find many of such ancient Buddhist monastery in this region. And let's look at the map itself and later on to get a better idea why there are so many ancient Buddhist monastery in this region. So our journey to this place is after we leaving Peshawar at point 2 and we are moving to point 3, and at the point 3 there's at this town of Madan, and next to it is where this ancient monastery site is located. And this is the map extracted from the museum, the Peshawar museums, and is indicated in this map. You can see that the Peshawar was just at the bottoms of this map of this circle area, and at the top section of it, there's found that there's so many ancient ruins with a high concentration of ancient Indo-Parthian Buddhist monastery. It's quite a number of them, and we are only visiting one of them. And the one that we are visiting are considered one of the quite well preserved and as well as quite a large size in terms of among the so many monastery. And before that, just to highlight to you, this region it's been classified as Gandhara Plains, and therefore is a popular. Is also popular for Buddhism. It's very popular Buddhism and also very close to Afghanistan, and as a reason why you can also see found Buddha statues in the neighboring country. Now this image was taken at the car park, and from the car park all the way you found that this ancient ruins Takht-I-Bahi was just positioned itself at the top of a hill which is about 150 meter above ground, and that touch about some of the background of this Takht-I-Bahi ancient ruin. Now in Persian language it's just been thrown off the water spring, and is an Indo-Parthian archaeological site and an ancient Buddhist monastery in Madan, the town of Madan, in the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province of Pakistan. Now the site is considered among the most important sites and with a lot of relics of Buddhism in all of what we once named as Gandhara, and has been exceptionally well preserved. Right now, the monastery was found in the 1st century and was in use until the 7th century, and the complex is regarded by archaeologists as being the particularly representative of the architecture of Buddhism or Buddhist monastic center from its era. I mean, from this 1st to 7th century. And this site, Takht-I-Bahi, was listed in the UNESCO World Heritage Site in the year 1980. Now, the ruins are located about 15 kilometers from the modern town, and a small fortified city dating from the same era. And the ruin also sit near a modern village which known by the same name. In other words, beside the ancient town, that next to this town, they built a new village, a new township, and the township, of course, using the same name. Now, this Takht-I-Bahi ancient ruin is located about 150 meters, as I mentioned just now, atop a small hill, and is about 2 km from the village bazaar. Now, the surrounding area is known for sugarcane, wheat, maize, vegetables, and orchards cultivations. And once remote and with later visit by others, the site now has a road leading to it and a car park and set below the ruin, and was become the popular tourist spot with visitor from local as well from abroad. Now, there are 4 main areas that you will visit in this Takht-I-Bahi complex. Firstly is the so-called the stupa court, a cluster of stupa located in the center courtyard. And then the other one is a monastic chamber consisting of individual cells arranged around a courtyard, assembly hall, and a dining area. And thirdly is the temple complex consisting of stupa and similar to the stupa court but of later construction. That means that it's a much newer section of the entire complex. Then finally, so-called the Tantric monastic complex, which consists of a small dark cells with low opening, which may have been used for certain form of tantric meditations. And in fact, we did walk past this tantric monastery complex, but we had to crawl in and crawl out in a way because of the low level. So as we walk from our bus, car park area, this is the view, and it's not far away, but still a distance to walk, but quite a pleasantful walking experience on the uphill. And at the last section, about a quarter of the distance before the ancient ruins, of course there will be then some step we had to climb. And you can see that all these ancient ruins, the structures, are actually, you can, as I say, that there could be quite a number of additional structure on the site, as what can be seen in this image, and may have served as a residence or meeting hall, or for circular purposes. Right? And all of these buildings on the site are basically constructed from local stone and are mortar with lime and mud. So these are all the buildings that surrounding the ancient ruins. So from top of the hill of the ruin, you can see this as surrounding scene. From afar, you can also see some of these ancient ruins, and this is also part of the monastery, ancient monastery village found in this Gandhara region. So this is the area where the dining area, and then they have some dining area, and in fact, this is the first site that we enter. This will be another section of it, and you can see that they have quite a big courtyard, and you can see there's a lot of cell, and this cell could be a place where the warships. this is another stupa court, much newer one, I believe, from the look of it. And you can see that this cell is, there are quite a number of big and small cells. I think these are where the place where stupa are being placed. But of course now you couldn't find any one of them because I was told all of them have been relocated to the museum nearby. Particularly to the Peshawar Museum. Here you can find many smaller cells on the wall. And one section of this ancient range, the wall is about to collapse. And now I'm sharing with you the journey, the road journey that travel from the Peshawar all the way to Besham. And this is a short journey. And during on the road journey, we found that there are many roadside store, and all these roadside store or mobile trader, they set up the store in a very simple way, with just few long posts and with a canvas on it, and how it look like, as can be seen in this image. And they're selling all kind of stuff, but mainly textile, blanket, canvas, as well as fruit. And apparently during our visit, it's considered a dry season, and therefore they can able to set up the store in that manner. Almost everywhere, almost along the road, you found so many just small mobile vendor. But of course, most of them are selling the local products, the fruits, the fresh fruits in particular. And you can also find many beautiful, well-decorated trucks and lorry, and this is just one of the image that I'm sharing with you. As far as public transport is also, we could also find many kind of public transport, but the most common one, this is a four-wheeler on the pickup trucks. We converted into a public transport. Or it can be a three-wheeler tuk-tuk, which also a very popular means of transportations for the general public. And in certain stretch of our journey, we also come across squatter homes that's built next to the main roads. And the structure of this squatter was very primitive, rely mainly on the tree trunks and the branches of the tree. Then on the journey from Peshawar to Besham, because we are traveling on the altitude that fall between 1,000 to 1,500 and be relatively flat, and therefore we still can find a fair bit of flat lands and with the full of vegetation and crops, as can be seen in the image. In this section of the journey, we still found plentiful of vegetations. But as we move further to the north, and then we're coming to a section that is called Kohistan regions. And this Kohistan region is actually to the border to Pakistan-Afghanistan border to Afghanistan. And therefore, I want to share with you later on a video clips to let you know the differences of those people that staying here compared to other part of Pakistan. So we are basically traveling from point 4 to point 5. And the point 4 to point 5, the entire roads are actually built along the river, Indus River. And in fact, at point 4 is the start of our journey on the Karakoram Highway. And so our experience of the Karakoram Highway in Pakistan are literally starting from the point 4, is where the town called Besham. And you notice that I've highlighted that triangle, the so-called orange color triangle, and I mentioned here this is a Kohistan region, and this Kohistan region and the population, the people there are known as Kohistani, and Kohistani have a very unique, unique practices, religious practices, and belief compared to other Muslim in Pakistan. I will tell you why later on after you view my video taken on the road journey. But anyway, just remember, we are now traveling along into the Kohistan region. So these are the video clips that I'm going to share with you, because they are basically, we are passing through two major villages, Kohistan concentration villages, and this is one of the villages that I've passed by. I want you to pay attention on the people on the street. In fact, this trunk road, this street is also part of Karakoram Highway. It literally cutting through the town, and it's also the main street of this town. It's a business district. It's where you get all your supply and sundry items for the local. And in this region, you notice all the shop, the buildings are very exceeded 3-story high, and most are between 2 to 3-story high, right? So just pay attention on the people on the street, and later on you tell me what have you found. Okay, now we have actually completed the video clips, and could you let me know what you have noticed from these video clips? Yes, some of you could be right that you hardly found any woman on the street, and most of it are men. And in fact, Kohistani, they believe, or rather they practices a religious belief. They say that women should not be outside exposed to people. Women should be kept at home, or rather that they should be stay at home. So as a result of that, the most women are discouraged or prohibited from going out, and they just merely stay at home and manning the house. And all outdoor activity are carried out by men. So we found out, and on the street itself, we couldn't find many. We couldn't find, or rather, we spotted few women out of hundreds of men. So it's a small, very unique place, and I believe that another thing told by my tour guide is that they don't encourage the woman and the lady or young girls to attend formal educations. So education to ladies and girls in this is not easy. In fact, they didn't have a chance to have their formal education, and all education only open to men or boy, right? Or the male sexes. So it's something whereby you find quite similar to what had been happening in Taliban in Afghanistan when they took over the country. They have actually closed down some of the school. And of course, in this picture you see, if you are stopping by in one hotel midway to enjoy our lunch and quite have a nice scenery. And now we are embarked on a journey on this Karakoram Highway from Besham to Chilas. Alright, this is the starting point of our journey in Karakoram Highway. So from point 4 to point 5 and even further up itself, this entire journey actually travel on the road, of course known as Karakoram Highway, was just built on the cut cliff of the mountain range, where on one side is the Indus River, on the other side is the mountain, the cliff of a mountain. So let's see some of the actual site that you are going to cut through or pass through along this journey. I would have been regarding this stretch of a journey as journey of the nightmare as for a few reasons. One reason is that the condition of the road here is the worst among the whole entire journey along the Karakoram Highway. And you can see that this image is a very hilly region, and hardly can find any flatlands. You either find valley or steep slope, hill slope, right? And the Karakoram is just on the right hand side of the image. You can see the narrow road path. And right below is the Indus River. It could be 100 meters below us in certain stretch of the journey. And construction activity was carried out present in this area, and is due to the construction of two hydroelectric dam undertook by the Chinese contractors. A very remote place and with very little vegetation. And you can see that due to the condition of the roads and also due to some falling rocks at times, that the road maintenance was carried out regularly, and this road maintenance could in one way or another causing some temporary road closure, and the road closure is not definite, not preset. So sometimes you are lucky enough, there's road closure, road blockage, but sometimes you encounter a blockage that may last for hours. So this is the reason why the journey in this part of the road is very uncertain. The duration they needed to complete the journey is very uncertain. And here will be the next video clips, and these video clips will let you have an experience of the actual condition, the one of the worst stretch that I've experienced. And during our visit of 21 days in Pakistan, there are only 2 days raining, and one of the day is raining is on the third day, is where we are cutting through this journey from Besham to Chilas, and it's one of the tough road journey, and yet it's rain. So the weather have further compounded the road condition, make it more difficult for us to travel. And in this video, you will actually able to experience the condition of the road. You can see that the road was built, the Karakoram Highways, the condition of the road is like that, and it is built on the cut cliff of hard rocks. You see the rocks face are nearly vertical and very highly irregular, and it's also very unstable. The rocks, the projecting rocks, it can anytime fall off from the face cliff. So therefore, if you are lucky enough, nothing happened. You are unlucky if the rock will just crash on the vehicle passing by. So this is one of the stress that's posed quite a high risk to the vehicle passing by, right? And it's raining, and of course, sorry for that. the raindrops on the windscreen have affected my focusing of my video cam. But anyway, we still have a rough idea of the condition of the road which claimed to be the Karakoram Highway, but it's one of the worst stretch of the Karakoram Highway that I've come across. And it's fairly narrow, and at certain point of the road, only one vehicle can pass by, you know. And there isn't any barricade on the outer side of the roads where fronting the Indus River. Just now this vehicle was trying to cut in because with in front is a narrow path, only one vehicle can pass through, and they want to cut in, forcing us to have an emergency brake or stop to allow him to pass by. You can see the danger of irresponsible driver on this stretch of the road. Then you also find the excavator along the roads when doing the repair, road maintenance. Okay, then we move on to next reason why this journey took so long. We after leaving from the monastery, the Buddhist monastery that we have visited, and we leave our place is in the region maybe about 11 a.m. in the morning, and by the time we reach the Chilas, it's about 8 p.m. at night, and beside the journey was slowed down by the construction activity, the road maintenance, and road closure, and also the poor road condition. We also been experienced by having to escort by the police, and with numerous police checkpoints. And on the first police checkpoint, it took us an hour to get our clearance before we can move on. And the reason for that is because the checkpoint police need to contact the HQ and get the official approval from the HQ, and the HQ was late in granting the approval until such time that we were already running out of patience, and then our tour leader was making a big fuss of it, and then have a direct telephone conversation with the officer in the HQ. Finally, we secure our clearance to move on, and that took us about an hour. By then, we get our clearance to move on. It's already 6 to 7 p.m. at night, close late evening, and then we were asked to follow police escort. The police will then escort us all the way from Besham onward, from the stretch Besham all the way to Chilas. And there are many police checkpoints. I'm not mistaken, should be anything more than 6 to 7 checkpoints along the way. And so you can see these are police at the first checkpoint, and this is the vehicle that's going to be leading us, and police officer carry the M16, will then sit at the back seat there, and then we have the trail behind this police vehicle, and every time from one checkpoint to next checkpoint, they will then rotate, they will change a new vehicle, and the new police officer will then bring us through the next checkpoint. So it's continuous from one checkpoint to next checkpoint, and each checkpoint will probably take us 5 to 10 minutes. In fact, the entire journey, if our out 8 checkpoints, it could consume more than 2 hours of our time just waiting for us to obtain the clearance before we move on to the next checkpoint. So the entire journey was dragged on. For one of the reasons is that there are numerous police checkpoints along this road. Alright, so, and this also the reason why I say that it's a journey of nightmare, because the journey over this stretch, the experience over this stretch is horrible, because the condition of the road is bad. Of course, it makes us difficult to sit in the vehicle because very bumpy. Then the rain, then the checkpoint, the stop, and the waiting, and all until the late evening and night, about 8 p.m. And we have a hard time because we are hungry, we are empty stomach. By the time we reach the hotel, all of us are tired and hungry. So be prepared if you travel along this journey. And also the worst thing is that on the return journey, on the way we completed our tour in northern Pakistan, we're supposed to take a domestic flight to avoid this stretch of journey. Unfortunately, our flight was cancelled and we had to take the same roads back to Islamabad. And again, we suffered the second time on this journey. And this time, again, we have also a long journey that took us again more than 12 hours. So be prepared. Of the whole journey, the tougher one is this stretch. Alright? So I hope that you will be prepared when you embark on this journey to Pakistan at this part of Karakoram Highway. And here is the end of my episode for today, my travel log for today. I thank you for staying until this hour with me, and please support this travel channel by subscribing and share to your friend and family. And I wish every one of you are in good health. I hope to see you again in the coming episodes, which will bring you a more exciting scenery along the northern Pakistan. And hope that you will be with me again in the coming episode. And bye.